So you cannot hear and no see, no hear. All right, hold on a second. Very strange, very strange. Hmm. No see, no hear. Okay. Very strange. I see. Okay, you can see in here. I'm like, it's very strange because it says that I'm live. So, okay, very strange. That's so weird. All right, thanks for letting me know because I was about to stop and start over, but I'm glad you guys can hear and see me. All right. I was a little wondering why it's not working. But anyway, welcome everybody. And hopefully you guys saw my recent YouTube video where I shared my recent make. This is, of course, my graveyard. And I want to share with you today how I did these tombstones. So I'm using a lot of the ideology, of course. I haven't yet seen Tim's ideology video. I guess it was the ideology one, yeah. But I'm really waiting for his stamp one. But yeah, so I wanted to go ahead and kind of walk through how I created this, specifically the tombstones. I kind of did the walkthrough on how I put the whole frame together, um, but I wanted to specifically go over how I did the tombstones today. So before I get into it, though, I wanted to let you know if you're on my mailing list, you probably already know. I did open up signups for my Christmas journal class. It should be loads of fun. The kit is a little bit cheaper than my Halloween one because I'm not using Tim Holtz paper. So I was able to make it a little bit cheaper. Yeah, Robin, I'm not giving this away. Sorry, girlfriend. Um, but yeah, I did open up the class for the Christmas journal book. Hopefully, you guys did see that. If not, be sure to check it out um, over on my website. You can sign up if you are a Backstage Pass holder. Um, if you're a Backstage Pass, I'm just reading the notes here. If you're a Backstage Pass holder, you will get the class for free when you sign up, and then the kit is $40. So I think that's a pretty good deal. I'm gonna start putting some of the kits together soon. Probably get them out starting next month. Trying to get through with the Halloween ones. I'm gonna have to send out an email for the people that signed up for the Halloween class with some extra supplies that you might want to grab for yourself. But yeah, so this is open now. If you want to sign up for the Christmas journal book class, it is open, and it's a really really cute book. You're gonna get lots of stuff like you always do in my kits. All right. So let's get to this. So this, surprisingly or not, if you haven't seen my video, it didn't take me very long to put this together. Once I kind of had my idea, and that's what I've said before, is ordinarily it's the idea that takes me a minute to oh, excuse me. It takes me a minute. I'm not bored, I promise. It takes me a minute to come up with my idea. I'm yawning because I didn't get much sleep last night. We found this property in Kentucky, in Columbia, Kentucky, and we were thinking about purchasing it. It was kind of like a mansion, sort of, kind of like a what do you call it? Like a plantation, I guess. It was really big and it was on 2.5 acres. And we were contemplating if we wanted to move, but it needed a lot of work. And that's always a scary thought if you're thinking about moving. We've lived on the West Coast almost all our life, so we took a break and we lived in Maryland for a while. I was a little anxious. I didn't know if we were going to actually make an offer on the property. My sister lives in Kentucky, and she actually did she drove to the property with her husband and did a walkthrough in the property, and it was pretty amazing, but it did need a lot of work. So just, I don't know, maybe I'm just, as you get older, you get a little bit more, a little bit more nervous about big changes. So yeah, so that's why I didn't get a lot of sleep. I was just a little anxious all night. But anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into this. So I did the die set that I'm using is of course this one here called Tombstones, or Graveyard, excuse me. It's called Graveyard, and it comes with layers to create the tombstones. It comes with the gate, and then it comes with this urn here, and I'm going to show you. I haven't made this yet. I mean, I think that would be pretty cool as well. I did use the gates on my make, but what we're going to focus on today are the tombstones. So I went ahead and cut everything out. I did use watercolor paper because I do saturate it when I make mine. So watercolor paper, in my opinion, is obviously the best way to go. I'm sure there's lots of different ways to put these tombstones together. So this is just the way I did it. But what I always say is, practice, test, use your product, figure out what works for you. Oh, I don't want to lose that. Figure out what works for you, because there are a lot of ways to do these things. All right, so let me just get my little pieces out here. And I want to put this away so I don't lose it. All right, so let's get to it. So the first thing that I did, of course, was cut out your pieces. And then you're going to have all these little inserts that you're going to want to take out. So you can do that. And hopefully I cut this deep enough. Some of the pieces I had to go through a couple times because it is a little bit thicker. But you'll be able to figure it out. So let me just get these out here. So Robin, did they accept your offer on your house? I know that there was a few of them that you had offers on, right? And I wanted to text you, but I just hadn't had a chance. I was curious if they accepted your offers. And if you're moving can be pretty stressful. All right, so let's get these pieces out here. So yeah, so just make sure when you are cutting your dies that that your die is going all the way through, so you don't have to struggle like I'm doing here to get some of these pieces out. All right. All right, I think that's it. Okay, so this is we did get one, but it didn't pass inspection. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. That's not good. So yeah, the house that we were looking at, we were going to actually pay cash. It's a lot cheaper to live in Kentucky than it is in Prescott, as you can imagine. All right, so now that I have my 3 pieces out, the first thing that I did was I added color. So I tried a couple. I first tried pumice stone, but it was a little bit too light. But I found the iced spruce was a pretty good color to start with. So that's what I would recommend you start with. It is a nice bluish gray, I guess. And let me bring us down a little bit. So it's a nice bluish gray, and it just gives you a good foundation to start with. So I'm just adding this to my tombstones. And again, this just gives me a foundation. We're going to be adding a lot more to this as we go along. And then these are the base part of it. So let me just go ahead. Now, I know that on the shot, the picture, it's different shading colors. I didn't do a lot of different shading, but I know that some people do that, but I didn't do that. Like I said, I'm just showing you the way I did it. But like I said, there's probably a lot of different ways. All right, so the next thing I did is I took some of my walnut stain. Again, you can use walnut stain. You could probably even use black soot. But I just added some shadows around the tombstones. Okay. And I kind of call this like a primer. Because we're going to be putting a lot of stuff on this, but what I'm doing here, I guess, is priming my pieces. So just adding my walnut stain here. If you guys get very dirty when you're doing this. Alright, okay. So now that we have our pieces, we're going to go ahead and put this together. So this goes into 3 parts here. 1, 2, and 3. I am using my On Point glue, which gives me a very precise tip. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out, if you're not following me on Instagram, I came into some fantastic vintage poison labels. These are just a couple of them. I think I came into hundreds of them. And I'm selling some of them on Instagram. I do have some of them already listed in my shop, but not all of them, because like I said, I got hundreds of them. So if you guys are interested in vintage pharmacy labels, check out my shop. Check out my Instagram also, so you can see everything I have. But yeah, those are going to be great for Halloween. Or if you have old bottles, those are fun as well. Let's see, so... So let's see, Suzanne, you're saying, what about you found out when I moved from California to Virginia? Yeah, Suzanne, moving is also extremely expensive. Yeah, if we were to buy the house, I'm just reading the chats here. If we were to buy the house, let's see. Yeah, once you leave, you can't go back, right? Yeah, moving is expensive. We probably would do it over a period of a year, actually. Like I said, we're in a position, our house where we live now is almost paid off. And we've got so much equity. We've got an excess of 400,000 in equity, probably. So one of the considerations that we thought about doing the move is because we can buy the house outright. Um, so we would buy the house in Kentucky uh, and then move sporadically. But the problem is that it has a basement that had some water damage. I don't know. I'm just a little bit more conservative as I get older, I guess. Makes me nervous. Okay, my glue is clogged. Let's see what I can find here. When we were younger, we lived in California in Long Beach. And right after we got married, we moved to Maryland, which was a big move. But like I said, when you're younger, you just tend to not be, I don't want to say I'm afraid, but I don't know, life is pretty comfortable right now. All right. Okay, so I went ahead and glued this down. I'm going to have to unclog this, but I'll do that later. Yeah, Robin, I don't see Tim very often, so that probably wouldn't be a consideration. Uh, all right, so there's my first layer. And the house that we live in now is just, like I said, Prescott is pretty expensive now. It's a retirement community, and there's a lot of people from California moving here and tacking up the prices. But the houses are smaller, and gosh, the house we were looking at in Kentucky um, was on 2.5 acres, and it was 3,000 square foot house. And I mean, that should be a no-brainer right there, but it can be pretty scary moving across country. All right, so here we go. Um, the next thing I did after I've got my pieces kind of glued together is I pulled out my crypt. Now, you guys might be familiar with grit paste. Hopefully you are. And they have some translucent, and I've had this, and this works really great, but they came out with a new grit paste, and it is called Crypt, and it's pretty cool, actually. It is gray and it is gritty. That was hence the name Grit Paste, right? And it was really great for the tombstones. So let me show you what I did. So I started out and I used a paintbrush, but I found that my fingers were so much better, and I just kind of, I don't know, I just kind of put it on. And again, I know there's probably a lot of people that are more precise, but this is what I did. I'm just showing you what I did. So I just put this all over to give it some texture, to give it some grittiness. And I like that I could kind of make it, when I used the paintbrush, it just didn't move very well. And I found when I used the grit paste, it was pretty good. Okay. So just kind of putting this on. But already you can see it transforming, right? And then if you want to give it more texture, you can just kind of dab it a little bit. That helps bring it up. And you can do that all around. Just makes that texture come to life. All right. And it'll take a minute to dry. Nope, I didn't use alcohol at all on this. I'm going to go ahead and place this down. Let's see. This will go here. I'm going to get a little bit of glue. And the way that this die works is everything is kind of shifted to the left a little bit. Yeah, you know, we pass by the entrance of his street all the time, but I'm just, you know, I do respect his privacy. So, unfortunately, no, Pam, I don't think I can give you a tour of his house. You know, you gotta respect his privacy, right? All right. I said he had a live yesterday, and I haven't watched it yet. Okay, so got my base down. I'm just going to add a little bit more grit paste here. And again, I'm using this Crypt, the newest one that came out. Um, just giving it some texture. Okay. That glue's not completely dry, but we'll give it a minute. All right, so I think that's pretty good texture. I'm going to go ahead and use my heating tool. Hi, Rebecca. To dry this a little bit. And then if you want to, you know, because I did kind of put that grit paste all the way around, you can use your little pick, you know, to make sure you can still see some of the spaces on this. So I'm just kind of going through the little maze here. But this is where we're at. And as you can see, it's got some great texture. You know, at this point, if you want to add more walnut stain to the edges, it's a constant addition of this walnut stain. This is not staying down. Just bear with me. We'll get us there. It's like cement. All right. So let me add a little bit more to the bottom. Well, you know, Pam, I couldn't take that chance. You might jump out of the car and go, you know, ask for a play date or something. I don't know. All right, so here we go. So now that you've got some great texture, the next thing that I did is I pulled out my oxides. And I used Iron Gate and Decayed. And there's no rhyme or reason to this, y'all. I just was spraying. So the Iron Gate, of course, is more of a metal looking, and that's what I did. Is I just kind of sprayed it. But boy, um, but just look how it transitions. I mean, it went from that really light grit paste gray, to this, I don't know, metallic looking grave, right? And then the Decayed is, I just use that sparingly. So I just kind of chose some spots on it. Not as much as the Iron Gate. Yeah, pretty amazing. How it does transform. Let me just see if I can add a little bit more glue here because this keeps popping up a bit. All right. But it's hard to believe it's just paper. I mean, when you get that finished look, right? I mean, that's paper. Isn't that crazy? So just add in a little bit more of that Decayed. All right, and that's what I did, you guys. Again, coming back in with my walnut stain. If you want, you can use black soot, but that's why I said, you guys, walnut stain is a staple in my craft room. And just keep working it until you get the look that you like. Um, but it's pretty amazing how you can transform paper with some of his products, isn't it? And I think that's why I'm such a fan. Is I love the transformation. But yeah, so this is what we started with. And this is what we started with, and this is what we ended with. Pretty amazing. Mary, send me an email, and I'll get you my address. I would love to get a Halloween card. Um, so yeah, if Mary, hopefully you have my email address. Um, and yeah, I'd love that. All right, so the next thing that I did, this is the one that actually had the skull. Let me show you what I did with the skull. All right. So do you guys have any questions on this technique. I mean, that's really what I wanted to do for you today, is just show you, do a technique class. Um, so do you have, as I start to put this skull together, do you guys have any questions on how I turn those graves into creepy tombstones? All right, let's see. So again, you have your base, of course, which is here, and then this is your second piece. So it's just layers. The layers give it dimension, which is pretty cool, right? All right. Ah, the glue's sticking to me. And then here's the third dimension. So I know a lot of my classes have been journal-based classes. I would love to give classes on these types of things. I know not everybody's into Halloween. I didn't put together any classes for vignettes this year, but I think Christmas probably is a little bit more popular than Halloween. But I'll work on something for next time, I guess. All right, so here is my skull with my 3 layers. Hopefully you can see that. And I didn't color this, but what I did do is, again, I got my walnut stain, and this was really easy. I just added shadows around it, and interesting enough, because of my dirty fingers, I was able to just kind of make this look old enough, right? So that's what I did. I didn't add any color to my skulls. I just added some walnut stain. Hopefully y'all can see that, to the skull. And then the skull will go the furnace, I was reading the notes. The skull will go right in the middle. Like that. Now if you want to do a little decayed, just be careful when you spray, you know. Because you don't want to add too much to that skull. But there you go. But that's it. So there's the grave, you guys. We'll do the next one as well. But pretty cool, right? And the way that I stuck it up, I used these shelves here that have like a backing, and I just glued the tombstone to the backing. You can't really see it because I added all this moss and everything around it, but that's how I got them to stand up. These would also be great for cards, y'all, if you want to put them on cards. In fact, I'll probably use these that I'm making today for cards. But really fun. All right, so let's make another one. We'll make one more. Okay, so any questions, you guys, on making the tombstones? Yeah, you know, when you see some of those makes on Tim Holtz, it's just amazing, right? And I saw some of the pictures on Instagram of some of the designers. Boy, they kind of went all out this year, didn't they? I said I haven't watched the video yet, the live, but I will. I will. All right, so this again, everything just kind of layers to the left. Oh, you know what? I didn't use my ink. Let's do that first. I'm so busy chit-chatting. So the color again I'm using is Iced Spruce for the base. I just really like having something colorful to start with. All right. And then these are just some of the highlights of the grave. Okay. Yeah, you know, Melody, I used to watch them live, but they're so dang long that I watch the replays now. I just don't have 3 hours to devote sitting in front of the computer. Usually when I'm watching his replay, I'm crafting or I'm doing something, and a lot of times, and I'll be honest, I flip through to see what I want to see. All right. Okay, so there's kind of how it's layered, right? And I should have probably added a little layering. Yeah, the chat does go real fast on his lives. But shoot, he's got so many people watching, right? I'm all about the makes, and learning how to do some of that stuff. This I didn't really watch a make on how to do these tombstones. I've done enough mixed media to kind of get an idea of how to get a look that you want, and I knew this crypt grip paste was going to be the key, along with some of the mica stains. All right, so you fall asleep if it's an hour, Gloria. That's funny. Yeah, they go on pretty long. I haven't seen, Robin, maybe you can tell me. I haven't seen any sneak peeks of the stamps coming out for Halloween. Have you? I've been looking because, like I said, I've already started my 7 Days of Halloween series, but I always like to use, some of the new releases. So I've got 4 of the videos taped, and I'm just kind of waiting to see what stamps are coming out. But I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any sneak peeks of the stamps. And my ideology I've already bought for the year. So, ideology came out early. Let's see, this is going to go right here. Yeah, Cordelia, I hear you. I mean, some of those makes, but you know what? Honestly, and I know they're all talented. I'm not discarding their talent at all. But to me, it's all in having the product. I mean, I can't personally, I can't afford to buy all that stuff to make some of the projects they make. I mean, it gets expensive. I mean, even if you look at this, right? So, I mean, I've got hardware up here. That actually was just a circle die. I don't have the moon die. So that was a circle die, which is some of the what do you call it? The stenciling. Um, I've got the skull. I've got the bones. These pumpkins I actually got in my shop, but I've got these mushrooms. Paper doll is not expensive. These little rocks I actually found at the dollar store and I dyed them and put them in there. And then this branch I got at Joann's. But all these little embellishments and oh and the what do you call it? Ah the shelf as well. But all these little embellishments um, cost money. I mean, my goodness. Um, I think I gotta keep on him with stamps today. I'm gonna go check it out, Gloria, because I'm curious to see what stamps he's got. Um, but yeah, I mean, to be able to make some of the makes that they do is just so expensive. I mean, I don't have the funds to, they are given the product. Lucky them. But it can get expensive. All right, so back to my grit crypt paste, and again, I'm just going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just going to add my grit, true grit, right? Just add in my grit, and just kind of pouncing it to give it the texture that I want. Melody says the stamp sets are coming out on Wednesday. All right, I'm gonna have to check it out because, like I said, I've been holding out, taping my last few Halloween videos for my 7 Days of Halloween series because I want to see what stamps they come out with. All right, so just pouncing to give it some texture. Just like I did the last one. All right. Pretty good, I think. You're late. Tardy. That's all right. Okay, so so here we go. So, like I said, what a transformation using your stains, because this is after the grit paste and this is after the mica stains. Alright, and then again, if you want some of these, crevices to be a little bit more distinct, you can use your pokey tool, right? To get out some of that grit paste if you want to. Your pokey tool. I don't think that's the official name. Alright, that's okay. Your pokey majig. Your Pokemon thing? I don't know. Alright. Cordelia, where are you? I forget. I know I should know this because I've mailed you cards before, dear. But where are you that you're getting heat advisories? All right, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so here we go. So here's where the transportation is mind-boggling. Okay, so iron gates, right? Look at just how that transforms. Amazing. I just love how it bubbles up. Look at this. Oh, it's a little hot. But look at that. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. All right, and then coming in with my walnut stain. Again, you can use walnut stain or black soot. Either one works well. Yeah, the transformation, Cordelia, is pretty amazing. All right, and then from here, of course, we have our little cross. Let's see if we can add some to this. All right, so for the cross, I don't use the grit for the cross, but I do glue it. Let's see. So I add a little bit of iced spruce. My goodness, say that quickly. All right, so let's get this cross together. These little pieces are crazy. Speaking of little pieces, so what was I doing? I was cutting out some dies earlier this week, and they were tiny ones, and I was cursing Tim Holtz out, saying, you know, darn you, Tim Holtz, why do you make such small pieces? And my husband heard me, and he brought me in his, he does models, and he has these magnifying glasses, and he's like, try these. So I put them on, and I'm like, it's blurry, and I don't have great eyesight. I wear glasses. And so I'm like, let me try on, I should have taken a picture. Let me try on my glasses and then put on my, those glasses, magnifying glasses. And it worked, but he was laughing at me because I had double glasses going on to be able to try to see some of these small pieces. But, I was like, curse you, Tim Holtz, for making these small pieces. But it was pretty funny. He comes in, he's like, who are you yelling at? And I'm like, I'm cursing Tim Holtz for making small pieces. He just kind of shook his head and like, oh my goodness. The funny thing is, you don't ever see him working with the small pieces, right? It's always his designers. So he's a smart guy. Leaves it to the crazy people. All right. So let's just position this real nicely. And you can even, I know I put that ice spruce on the cross, but you don't have to. You can just kind of highlight it. But you know, I want it to look grungy, but not white. So that's what I did, guys. Um, I don't know if that's the right way or the wrong way to make, you know, these tombstones, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. That's how I do it. And whether it's right or wrong, it's pretty cool, right? Yes, I do. So I start sending reminders probably about 7 to 3 days before the class, and then I do again an hour before the class, and that has your link to the class. Um, so, yes, to answer your question, yes, I will. If you're attending the Halloween class, I'm going to be getting an email out in the next week or so, just to give you some recommendations or suggestions on what you might want to bring to your craft table when you join, to get ready to start creating. But everyone by now, I would think, should have their journal kits. Um, should have their journal kits, because they're all mailed out at this point. All right, so that's it, y'all. So here are my tombstones. Hopefully the glare is not too crazy and you can get a good idea. But the transformation is just amazing, and I love it. I love these products. I love the Iron Gate and the Decade. I actually bought another set for the Iron Gate because this one's actually almost out. I completely love the Grit Paste Crypt. If you're trying to make things look grungy or rusty, you could probably use this and then even add like a red spray to make it look rusty. But I love it. I think it's fantastic. Um, and if you guys do decide to, um, if you guys do decide to purchase any of these purchase products, remember I do have my affiliate links in the description boxes, which helps me with a small percentage. So if you guys do decide to buy any of the products, I would appreciate you using my links because that does help to support my channel, of course. All right, you guys. So that's all I have today. Really, like I said, my goal was to walk you through my process for creating these tombstones. Yeah. And this is going to be going up on my wall of makes. I should do a walkthrough, you guys, of my craft room as soon as I get it cleaned one of these days. Um, but yeah, that's going to go on my wall of makes. I'm not going to sell this one. I might do a class on this at some point. I don't know. I don't know. It's getting too late now to put together a class, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's it. You found the mask die and bought it, but I couldn't find the mask stamp. Uh, yes. The mask stamp. I don't think there was a stamp, was there? There were stickers, mask stickers in the sticker book, and there was the die. I knew about that, but I don't know if there was a stamp, Melody. If there was, I could be wrong. Um, Maybe there was. There was, like I said, there's stickers. It's the sticker book. Uh, I'm looking. I'm looking. I know it's in his new sticker book because I bought his new sticker book, but it was the smaller ones. Oh, so it had the large stamp of the mask. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I know what you're talking about. The mask die or the mask stamp. I put in my description box of my demo last week. So if you're looking for that mask, Melody, check out the live from last week or whenever I did that, and there is a link there for that mask. I did look it up for you. I remember what you're talking about now. Um, yeah, I found the link for the mask. I don't have an affiliate to that, but no big deal. But the link is there for you. I think it's Cracker Box stamps, maybe. But anyway, check out my live from when I did that, and I did add the link for that big stamp. It's called what is it called? I don't remember what it's called, but it's there. Yeah, so check it out. All right, so that's all I've got, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you also get your creep on making these little tombstones. I think they're fantastic. I'm really glad I bought the die. I don't think I bought any of the other Halloween dies, but yeah, I bought these, and I have no regrets. I have no regrets. All right, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to sign up for the journal class if you're interested in taking that Christmas journal book class, because I do have limited kits for those. All right. Bye.